but we are now recording the call. And first question, simply raise your hand like this. Otherwise, I just gave you a cop out. I don't know why I did that. Karen, unmute your mic. You're asking a question. And nice to see you.
Hi.
Dinora, you'll go next. All right, Karen, sorry to put you on the spot. Marcel, I'm going to let you take over real quick. I'm going to fill up some water. I'm a little underprepared for this call.
Got it.
Karen, just ask your question. And Marvin, you're ready to go?
All right, Karen, what's up?
Yeah, I'm just starting up an online business with Hypnotist as a tool to stop smoking and things like that. But I have started a Facebook group and there's a lot of members. But I'm a little concerned how much people would like to know what it's about, because many people think hypnosis is some woo, you know. So I wanted to share something about a little more what it was about, but at the same time, I'm not thinking I'm supposed to give it all away, because then I will maybe lose clients. But I'm a little confused how much to give away for free and how much.
Well, don't do anything for free. You shouldn't do anything for free. You should just tell them, look, you want to quit smoking? This is what I do. You don't need to explain anymore. Be like, this is proven. This is proven to help people quit smoking. You know, if someone wants to quit smoking, cool. And then charge over $1,000 for it. Because I promise you the medical bills they're going to get for cancer later on are going to be a lot more expensive. And those people who want
the cost of the cigarettes is very soon paid. So that's a lot of money.
Look, the fact that they paid you $1,000 is why they're going to quit.
Yeah.
I mean, I charge people $5,500 for 5 minutes to quit smoking.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to quit, they'll pay me $5,500.
Yeah.
You know, I would charge at least $1,000 for it. Don't explain more.
But that's because they know who you are, isn't it? They know who you are. You put a lot in YouTube, so
they have no idea. They have no idea who I am. They have no idea who I am. And I was doing this from before I even had a single video on YouTube. So you know, people didn't know who I am. And even if they knew who I am, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, right? Like, it has nothing to do with if they know who you are or not. They know what you're worth based off of what you tell them you're worth.
Okay.
Right? And if you tell them you're worth at least $1,000, don't do 10 sessions for $1,000. You do one session for $1,000 to help them quit. Right? And that's it.
Yeah, I made a lot, but I made some for free just to get some practice, because I didn't know if I could do it myself.
Okay,
so
no more though.
That's why I do that. No, I know that, because all of them, they stopped smoking right away after one session. So now I know for sure that I can do this. So
the results you're going to give clients will go up. They'll go up so much when you charge more money. It's not even funny, because they're way more invested. They're way more invested. They want the result. The more you charge, the more money they're going to make.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No,
guys,
not right now.
Okay. Someone unmute yourself and ask a question so I can get the.
Hey, so how do you get clients online?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I get clients in person. All my clients are in person. I mean, if you're going to get clients online, you got to have people follow you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And if they don't follow you, it's going to be pretty hard to get clients online. Unless you want to spend money on ads, then you spend money on getting people to get on the phone with you, and then you sell them on the phone.
Okay.
So get leads, phone calls. Have people schedule phone calls with you.
Yeah. And actually, Sergio, ads, like running ads to get on a phone call with you, like that first phone call, if you can convert, let's pick a really low number, like 20% of those calls, and you're charging $1,000 for a package, you can spend $200 to get on one phone call. So it's just math. It's really cool when you break down the numbers. But yeah, I saw Dinora had a question, so you can go ahead and ask.
Hey, my question is, I had an appointment, somebody said that will reach me at 4 o'clock in the middle of the day, because
they should pay you before. If someone pays me and they flake, they don't get their money back.
No, I just said that I'm a hypnotherapist, and I said I can make you an appointment to give you more information. What do I do and help?
Well, that shouldn't be in person. That should be on the phone. Your time, listen, your time is valuable in person. You guys do not see people in person unless they pay you in person.
I want to find anybody who would love to have hypnosis, but I cannot.
Yeah, but you're coming from a place. You're coming from a place of no value. You're like coming from a place of like you need them. Like you literally have, you know, like you absolutely need them. That's where you're coming from. You're coming from a place of you need the clients.
How to make opposite? Because
okay, if you had 1,000 clients in line on a waiting list to see you, how would you act? Would you be desperate to meet someone at 4 o'clock in person, or would you be like, yeah, just hop on a quick call with me?
If I have many, so I don't bother that one skip my appointment. Like if
you wouldn't even make an appointment. You would just tell them, yeah, let's hop on a phone call really quick. You wouldn't even make an appointment. You'd be like, yeah, let's hop on a phone call. What are you looking for? Great, let's do it. When do you want to schedule? You would assume that they already want to work with you. Like when you go to the world's most famous plastic surgeon and you get on a phone call with him, it's not because you just want to get on a phone call with him. It's because you want to work with him. So he doesn't assume that you're not going to work with him. He tells you, okay, well, when do you want to come in and do the surgery? So you're going to tell him when do you want to come in and have the appointment. You're going to tell him the date. I would even tell him I'm free on this day. So you're going to come in on this day and free up your schedule and see me at this time. You got to be almost ridiculous. Like be extremely confident in this area.
I tried to find anybody. Like
yeah, but it's not anybody. It's everybody. It's not anybody. It's everybody's your client. You're trying, as you know, means you're not doing.
I asked people who would love to change their habits, and neither of them want. Like it does strange.
Because okay, let me ask you this: are you down to change your habits? That sounds very unappealing. That sounds unappealing. I don't want to change my habits.
Would you like quit smoking? No, I don't want. Do you want? Don't think about the world that is bad place to live. No.
No, because you're telling them what you think they want. Ask them what they want, and then tell them you're going to give it to them. Hey, if you can have one thing right now, what would it be? Then, all right, right now, what I mean, from what you're saying, it seems like you want clients, right? So what if I could just hypnotize you right now, literally right now, so you can get all the clients in the world, and charge them $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for 10 minutes of your time? Would that be something you're interested in?
Yes.
Okay. And right now, I know you don't believe it because it's like, well, I tried. Well, you tried with the wrong mindset. I literally will hypnotize you into having the best mindset. Would you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give you one chance. Okay. One opportunity here. It's going to be $3,000. I'm going to hypnotize you one time. And you're going to change your life. And you're going to get clients all the time. Would you do it?
I quite not like ready to pay that.
Because you don't have it, or because you're not ready for
it? Because I don't want to be in risk.
Yeah, with your current belief system, you're always at risk. With that, you're not. Because if you can get one guy to pay you $3,000 a week, I think you made the money back.
That is great.
Yep. So would it be worth it?
This moment, I don't.
Great. So this is the problem. Great. So I'm going to point something out to you. I'm going to point something out. If you're not going to spend the money, they won't. You don't believe it's worth it. You think they're going to believe it's worth it? I'm not actually trying to make you my client. I literally don't have time to take you on as a client. But if you don't believe that you can spend that much money to get the result, they're not either. And it's not because I'm not a good enough coach to get that result. Of course I am. It's because you don't believe regardless of anything, you're going to get the result. So because you don't believe it, they're not going to believe you. You need to believe in hypnosis more. That's your problem. Any other questions?
How to change the mind.
Give me $3,000. I'll change your mind.
From my back experience, I hardly can spend money because it's in the in between of life and death in my experience now. So that's why I cannot afford it for myself. Like, that's it.
You can't afford it, or you?
Yeah, I cannot. Like, yeah, just because right now I'm still waiting some money to come in, and I couldn't buy anything today because I don't have any money this month, so I cannot invest in front. Like, that's it.
Okay, that's fine. So that's why you should do it. Listen, I'm trying to help you right now. I'm not trying to get you as a client. I'm trying to get you to believe that if you were to spend the money, then other people would too. But you won't even go there. Okay. Any other questions? I apologize for all the background noise, by the way. It's just, there's more noise in my house than there would be not at my house. So, any other questions? Nobody else has a question.
How do you close in the phone?
What do you mean, how do I close the phone?
In the clients, to get clients in the phone, as you said.
I listen to what their problem is. I tell them I can fix it, and then I schedule a session. It's that easy.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, don't overthink it, guys. It's so easy. Everything's easy. If you just allow yourselves to just believe that you're going to help somebody, it's easy to help them. And they'll believe you and they'll spend money on it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So let's say Dianora said, yes, I'll give you $3,000 if I can get clients. What are some of the techniques you would have used to progress with that session with her?
I would hypnotize her. If for some reason she doesn't want to be hypnotized, I would then tell her, you're wasting your time and my time and your money. So either you're going to listen to what I say and follow my instructions, or you won't. If she follows my instructions, then she's going to be hypnotized. And on top of it, she'll also change her beliefs. The only reason someone doesn't get a change in hypnosis is because they didn't follow my instructions. If I tell you to believe that you're confident and you don't follow my instructions, you're not going to believe you're confident. So, I mean, I don't have that problem. There's no right way of doing anything, right? Like at my seminars, I just set it up in a way where someone tells me they want to change. I'll look at them, snap my fingers, and then they change, right? That's how it is at my seminars, because I've framed it a certain way. I've set it up. I put everyone into some kind of trance where I don't have to do anything. It's about being confident. When you give them the belief, you have to be confident when you say it, because if you believe it, they'll believe it. If you don't believe it, and you have to be more confident than them. That's what gives you one-upsmanship. You have to be more confident that you can help them and you're not being able to help them.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
How to be more confident?
Do things that make you uncomfortable, like go get clients. That's how. Spend $3,000.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Any other questions? Alan, you look like you have a question.
Alan, ask that question in a second. Real quick, Sarah, Bill, and John, please, all of us are missing your beautiful faces right now joining us here. So you guys, in the next 30 seconds, we'll all have your face cams on. And Alan, you can ask your question.
No, man, honestly, I don't have any questions, man. You know, I'm just enjoying, you know, learning and enjoying, you know.
All right. How about the other Alan? Alan Scott.
Okay. I'll ask for both of us. How did you, I didn't know who you were until on here. I was actually just Googling you while we were on the call here. How did you get started doing this? Like what snapped for you? Did you get hypnotized into wanting to do this, or where did it all start from?
No, so I was already coaching men in dating, right? And I worked my ass off to be confident. 3 years of just constantly approaching people, overcoming my social anxiety, working on my social cues. And then I went to my friend's college called San Diego State University. It's in San Diego, obviously. And they had a stage hypnotist performing. So I'm like, yo, bro, let's go see that. That looks so cool. He's like, I don't know. I'm like, no, we got to go. So anyways, so he ends up getting called up on stage. is then hypnotized, does all these ridiculous things. And just to give you an idea of who this person was, so not confident, he would not make eye contact with you, would not even shake your hand. If you were to shake your hand, it'd feel like he just washed his hands. You know, I mean, the most not confident person I ever knew. Gets called up on stage, gets hypnotized. At the end, the hypnotist goes, "You're the most confident person on the planet." And that's permanent. He comes off stage. He sees this beautiful girl that's in the room. There's like 500 women in the room. Goes up to her, talks to her, gets her number. He tells me, "Hey, man, go find another place to sleep." Ends up dating this girl. And to this day, he's that confident. I'm like, okay, I'm a coach, a dating coach. I help guys become confident. And what I can't do for you in my entire relationship with you, some hypnotist did for you in a snap of his fingers. And I'm like, well, I got to learn this. So I started learning it, became obsessed with it, realized that this is the quickest way to change somebody's life. It literally is. It is a shortcut to success in every way because you're reprogramming people's minds. And, I'm like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to be the best when I do it. And I push the boundaries in every way because a lot of hypnotists tell you there's a lot of things you can't do. Well, that's the old school way of thinking. And why I love Tyler so much is because he's like me. We know that anything's possible with this tool. And if you really want it, the thing is, in order to succeed in this field, you got to want to succeed in this field, right? You got to want to help people. You got to want to be good at what you do. And most people will tell you, hey, yeah, you can't do it. You can't do this. You're not experienced enough. It's all limiting beliefs. It's all limiting beliefs. Within the first 3 weeks of me learning hypnosis, like actually going out and learning hypnosis, I was hypnotizing people who didn't want to be hypnotized. I was doing all this crazy shit. So if you want it bad enough, you can get it in a week, 2 weeks, even 3 weeks, you can get that result.
I think the key word that he said was he became obsessed with it. Because today on a call, one of my clients, he asked me, he said, hey, so I was just thinking about it. I made a testimonial for you. And I was actually amazed looking back at how much you'd be able to do and learn by 21. And I am 21, and I gave a long-ass answer. But ultimately, I realized I just became obsessed with this. The only difference between me and Marczell and every other person on this call is our obsession to learn more. Now, you guys are actually, that may not be true because you're on this call. So maybe you are already obsessed, and you're just the beginning. But the keyword's obsession. And I love that Marczell said. I gotta point it out.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to know what the key to success is in this field, it's not to be on these calls, right? That's going to help. It's not going to be on these calls. It's to go out and hypnotize people, not your friends, not your family. Just walk up to random strangers and hypnotize them. That is the key. Because then when something doesn't work out for you, then you get on this call and you're like, hey, why didn't this work? And you run us through what we did, and then we tell you it didn't work because you did this and this and this. You should have done this and this and this. And then because you did it, your brain then goes, oh, and then all of a sudden you become much better. And you learn how to hypnotize anyone. I have seminars, 2 days, where I teach people how to do this in almost no time at all. Right? Like in 3 hours, everyone's hypnotizing everyone as an expert. They're not experts, obviously, because they don't have the experience. But
a little foreshadowing for Hypnotist Secrets Live.
Yeah, but this is the key, though. The key is action, finding people and doing it. That's the key. So, I mean, what made me get into it is I wanted to help people. I'm going to be bigger than Tony Robbins, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to be bigger than Tony Robbins, they got to be better than Tony Robbins. And what do I have to learn in order to do it? And this was he's a hypnotist, but he's not that good of a hypnotist. He's better than, anyone who's starting off. That's for sure. Yeah, he's not next level, but he's very good. But yeah, that's, I mean, hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? No other questions? That's it?
Question.
Yeah.
What would you do if you try it on someone and then they either don't take you seriously or they go in, but then they keep laughing while you're trying to hypnotize them?
I mean, it's fine. I'd be like, the more you laugh, the more you go in, right? Or if they're not following instructions, you're not being certain enough. Right? Like if I tell you, hey, pay attention, and I'm really serious, it's going to be very hard for them to laugh. They're going to have to follow what I'm saying because they're coming into my frame. But if I it's either going to follow your instructions or not. And I would tell them and sometimes you almost want to make an example out of somebody because then they'll feel bad, and out of wanting your validation, they'll let you hypnotize them. Right? So for example, if they're not going to follow my instructions to prove them to me they can't be hypnotized, I'd be like, look, if you're too stupid to follow instructions, I'm not going to hypnotize you. And then I'll go to someone else who here can actually follow instructions. And then people will raise their hand, and then I'll hypnotize them. And then the person who was resisting me will then be like, well, no, okay, I actually want to try it. And then they'll do it, and they'll go in.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's good. Any other questions?
Can we do many hypnosis tricks for one person? Doesn't he feel like exhausted?
Not if you tell him he's not.
But after all, because I watched many, like few hypnosis, and I noticed that people get tired, and some of them say I feel tired, and
so then tell them you're wide awake and you're feeling motivated and energized.
Yeah.
Just tell them what you want them to feel, and they'll feel it.
But why people feel exhausted? Is it
because they don't feel exhausted, they feel tired, like they just woke up because they go into theta. It's like when you wake up in the morning, do you wake up feeling woo? You don't wake up like that, right?
No.
Of course not, unless something happened. Unless you had a dream that just motivated the hell out of you, you're not going to wake up feeling that way. Or unless you're excited to go on a field trip the next morning or go to Disneyland the next morning. You know what I mean? Like when you're a little kid and you have something going on that's exciting that day, when you wake up, you're going to be excited. But unless you have something going on, you're not going to be excited.
Okay, so we just need to say them you are relaxed right now after the session. Like you feel nice, great, energized after. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
You tell them what they want to experience, and they experience it. And hello. Maybe something loud is going on, which is why Marczell muted his mic real quick. However, I know we haven't heard from everyone here. Bradley, haven't heard questions from you, Anil.
Wait. So I was gonna answer that really quick. When you tell them that, make sure you're feeling the emotion. If you're not gonna feel the emotion when you say it, they're not gonna feel it, right? When you say you want to feel motivated, be like, and you feel motivated. You don't want to be like, and you feel motivated. They're not gonna feel it. Okay? It's not the words; it's how you say the words. Go ahead. And whoever's next. Who's next?
Okay, I will ask them. Do you feel energized after hypnotizing other people? Because I think, like, I thinking about hypnotize the person to ask them, and I feel then, oh, I will be exhausted after speaking with them. So how do you feel? Like,
you just tell them you're gonna feel more you're gonna feel more energized and more motivated than you've ever felt in your entire life. I feel amazing. Why does my video keep turning off? What the hell's going on here? Yeah. Alan, I saw you raised your hand, right?
Which one, me?
Yeah, I saw you raise your hand earlier, right?
Well, nobody else has jumped in, so I wanted to give them a chance. I just want to find out what your favorite go-to induction is.
I love shock inductions. My favorite is probably a handshake interrupt. That's my favorite induction. It works every time. Like if you go on my Instagram, you'll see me use it all the time. Like, I mean, I'll walk up to a random person at the mall and just take their phone. They had no idea I even was going to hypnotize them, things like that.
You don't ask permission. You just, hey, how
yeah,
you
no.
doing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't encourage this. I just did it to see if I could, and then I film it just to show people. I mean, I know I could. At that point, I knew it, but I wanted to kind of just post it to show people how easy it is to hypnotize anybody.
Definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. You'll see it. It's me dressed like really casually at a mall.
But did you use pre-talk before, or just met the person and did like handshake?
My pre-talk is, hey, can I ask you one more question? Which then I mean, there's an entire description inside that video, an entire description. Like I describe everything that's happening in that video underneath it. Yeah. What was the question the other guy just commented in? Had? Someone just asked a question?
Alan, you can just unmute your mic and ask him a question, man.
Hey, Marczell, can you hypnotize yourself to, for example, not be tired when you're really tired?
Yeah, of course.
So you do. So you're never tired. I mean, whenever you're tired, you just hypnotize yourself to be.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, I have a friend. His name is Dr. Vince Wong, and he's the leading expert on sleep in the entire world. He has more hours than any other doctor in the world studying this subject. And what's interesting is that a lot of your sleep, how your brain feels, is related to its perception of how you slept. Some people sleep 15 hours a night and then still have the brain of someone who didn't sleep at all because they believe that they didn't sleep well. So if you just believe that you slept well, your brain then enters that program, and then that program now changes the way your brain thinks and is wired, and then all of a sudden you feel really good because your brain now turned on a different program.
So you do, but do you sometimes like get tired? Like if you work, you have a rough day.
But then I believe I'm not tired, right? Obviously you can't do this forever. It's not like you can never go without sleep. But if you want to go more and feel less tired, you just tell yourself that you're not tired at all. Rather than saying, fuck, I'm so tired, and then opening up that program in your brain, you open up a different program saying you're not tired at all. Have you ever, for example, felt really tired and then all of a sudden someone you like or a friend hits you up with something exciting and then you're excited and you're no longer tired and you went out and you weren't tired all night? But it's the same thing.
Yeah, and I also hypnotize myself sometimes to not be tired, but it seems like the more I do it, the harder it becomes to you know?
Well, okay. So don't do it with your eyes closed. Number one. Number two, it's kind of like an affirmation, right? But what is an affirmation? Usually people give you affirmations because you don't believe them. And if you don't believe them, it's not your reality. So an affirmation only works when you believe it to be true. So if you get good at believing things you tell yourself, if you get good at believing it, then it's gonna work for you. Like, I believe I'm not tired, I won't be tired.
So basically the moment I wake up, I need to tell myself, I'm not gonna be tired today at all.
No, I wouldn't say I'm not going to be. I would say I'm not tired right now.
No, but
because if you put it in the future, your brain continues to put it in the future. You have to put it in the present. Like I'm wide awake right now.
So I can also, the positive way to say, I'm gonna be energetic the whole day today.
Yeah, I'm energetic now, and I will continue to be energetic all day. You want to make sure that the change is now.
All righty.
Yep.
Yeah,
Any other questions?
Yeah. So taking up on that, like if we want to change our habits, how do we go about it? I mean, what kind of self-hypnosis do we do?
Well, what habit?
Like procrastination or not finishing something, starting something and not finishing it.
Yeah, so procrastination comes from this. It comes from thinking, right? The pain of doing something is too great, so you push it off. Right now, you just put it off in order to have some temporary pleasure. And then when the pain gets so great because that thing is due in the next hour, or you absolutely have to do it now because it's too overwhelming for you to not do it, then you do it. Right? That's why we procrastinate. So what you have to do is you have to change the way you see it in your mind. You have to be like, I love doing these things and I hate not doing it. So how you do that is by imagining how good it's going to feel for you to get it done. Now, if you can't get it done right away, what you'll do is you'll be like, okay, well, if I can't write an entire book, I'll write a chapter. If I can't write a chapter, I'll write a page. If I can't write a page, I'll write a paragraph. Not a paragraph, I'll write a sentence. Without a sentence, I'll write a word. Just start doing whatever it is that you're going to do, and then you'll find you finish the whole thing.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have one. You kind of just blew my mind when you said something about Tony Robbins. So I have, followed him for 25 years. Are you telling me that when I've wondered all these years about what does he do that's so magical, it's hypnosis?
Yeah, he's a hypnotist. He's literally a hypnotist. He studied hypnosis and NLP. That's all he uses. He teaches you NLP and hypnosis at his seminars.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know who the fuck he was until I had a seminar and someone's like, you remind me of Tony Robbins. And I looked him up and I'm like, well, what was his education? And I'm like, oh shit, no way. It's also hypnosis and NLP. I'm like, well, that's funny. I'm on the same path then, So
he doesn't say like, oh, we're having a hypnotherapy session. He just like does it like in the movie Shallow Hal.
He calls it a closed eye process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
He calls it a closed eye process. You ever been to his seminars?
No, never.
So in the seminars, he'll be like, okay, we're going to do a closed eye process, and then hypnotizes you.
Wow. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a hypnotist.
Wow.
Yep. Any other questions?
So with you said that if you get good at believing the things you tell yourself, you're going to hypnotize yourself to actually make this happen. So for example, if I have trouble speaking to people when I go out to hypnotize, I think most people here can relate, because I feel it's a little bit difficult, but if I tell myself that I can do it and that I'm super confident to actually do it, and I believe it, then it's gonna be different. I'm gonna act in a different way and feel in a different way. Or
yeah, of course. So I mean, if you believe it, look, everything starts with a thought, right? So you think that you're either going to do something or you think that you're not going to do it, and then you would do exactly what you thought, right? For example, I'm going to pick up my phone. It's a thought that pops up in my head. Hey, grab your phone. It's a thought that pops up in your head that says, go talk to people. It's a thought that pops up in your head that says, go sell this person, make this person your client. You got to think the right thoughts if you want to have the right actions. Your thoughts determine your actions, and then your actions determine your outcome. So if you can change the way you think, all of a sudden you change your actions, and now you change your results. So you have to believe what you say, because then it'll make you act upon it.
okay, thank you. I'm gonna apply that.
Yeah. Any other questions? I'm gonna take one more, and then I gotta hop off here. But I'll take one last question.
But if the person is not trying to, I mean, if the person doesn't actually believe, like I'll give you the same example you gave to the guy who started to date very effectively after just one hypnotic session. That person didn't believe that he was good enough, or he didn't believe he was confident. And what happened during the hypnotic session that he started believing that he
was told that he was, and he believed it.
Okay.
So when you go into hypnosis, you're out of your head. You don't doubt anything. Everything makes sense. It's called trance logic. So when you say this is your new reality, your brain takes that as reality. Because the truth is, if you don't believe in something, you believe in something else, right? And how do you know you believe it? How do you know it's true? Well, someone told you it's true. Sometime in the past, you were literally hypnotized sometime in your life to believe that to be true. So if you were hypnotized to think it's true, you can also be hypnotized to think it's not true.
And if that thing had changed his identity, it is a kind of identity belief that he thinks he's not confident, and that
100%.
100%. And then can it change in a second, or can it change in an instant?
Yeah, it changes instantaneously. Anytime you change, it's in an instant. It's always a decision that oh wow, and then boom, you change. It might take you a long time to get to this change, but hypnosis is the thing that accelerates it. Hypnosis is like, well, let's make you change now rather than 10 years from now.
Right. And even when he comes out of the trance, that change remains.
It's permanent. It's permanent. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's permanent. You just have to be really confident when you say it. And you tell them this is permanent too. I always tell them this is permanent to then enhance that.
Okay.
Yep. All right. I'll take one more question and then I'll hop off.
I do have a question. Say you're going out and you're trying to, like, you still have that anxiousness of talking to people. Before going out, I have in my head, like, okay, talk to people, hypnotize them. But when I go out, it all just gets jumbled up into, like, I don't know, like talking to people, either talking to people, helping people, or hypnotizing them, or just like not doing it at all. And then it just, like, my head just gets all jumbled up into doing it, into like what to do, that I don't end up doing anything at all.
You don't just do it. Just don't think. Just do it. Like, you should. Your brain does that to you because it's trying to create problems, so you don't actually go do it. So your brain's telling you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do, in order to prevent you from actually doing it. It's bullshit. It's just an illusion your brain is creating.
I see. Okay. Cool.
Got it? All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for having me. I apologize. I can only be on for 40 today. Tyler, I had fun. I'm down to come more often. I enjoy these.
Marcel, last one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remove smoking problems by 1 second, or do you have a session for people who say, okay, I will give you
I'll tell you exactly how I make people quit smoking. It's on my Instagram, but I'll tell you exactly how I do it. I have them hold a cigarette in their hand. In their other hand, I have them imagine that there's like a piece of raw chicken or something absolutely disgusting. I then ask them how they would feel if they were to take a bite out of that raw chicken. And then they say, oh my God, that'd be disgusting. I'm like, now imagine it's rotting and it smells awful. And then I have them imagine that it's in shit, there's mold on it. Now imagine eating that, how would that be? And they're like, oh my God, this is disgusting. And then all of a sudden I'll have them merge that hand with the cigarette and be like, now feeling that feeling in that cigarette, would you want to smoke that cigarette? And they say no. And I'm like, okay, go ahead and smoke it, because now I created that emotion inside of them. Because when they imagine the chicken, they're feeling that emotion. And I didn't have them change the emotion yet. So then I move that emotion into the cigarette. I anchor that to the cigarette. And now every time they take the cigarette, they feel it's the most disgusting thing in the world and they throw up.
Okay.
Got it? And that takes just as long as I just described. Literally would have been done at that moment. So that's the amount of time it takes me to, end an addiction that's been around for 50 years. You just got to be confident when you do it. Okay, guys. I'll see you later. Tyler, thank you.
Awesome, Marcel. Appreciate it, man.
All right, bro. I'll see you later. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcel.
Yep. See you later, Sergio. Bye.
All right. Pretty cool. Everyone think that was pretty cool? Dinora, you shook your head no before you put your thumbs up. What's going on?
Where to get this confidence? It's all like a barrier for me.
Yeah, it's unachievable, huh?
It might be. Yeah, it is. But I cannot. I try. I make my way. How can I approach people?
Let's say you try 1,000 times harder than you are right now. 1,000 times harder. If it's unachievable, would it do anything?
No.
So that's the cause of the problem. Okay, it first has to be possible. Is it possible? Like consciously, is it possible?
It should be. Yeah, it is possible.
It is possible, and it's hard for you to align with that because your current reality is that it's not. But the more you think about it logically, you realize it is very possible. Yeah. Just the more you think about it. It is possible.
Yes.
And it's also possible for you. Say that. It's possible for me.
It is possible for me.
Cool. Now that it's no longer not possible, and now that it is possible, guess what? Now you can achieve it. That's it. That's simple. Seriously. Okay. So we're going to wrap this up pretty quick. We'll be off in about 20 minutes. I am a little upset, Sarah, Bill, although Sarah does have a profile picture. That's nice. I'm ashamed we haven't seen your faces yet, but I will take any remaining questions or any questions that were asked that you would like a different perspective on. And you can just unmute your mic and ask me a question. I just spilled water on myself. I missed my mouth. I'm not sure if you saw that. I will now take a question.
So, when in terms of practicing, like hypnotizing people, do you think we should hypnotize like 10 people per day, or
no?
I should focus on my business, or what would I do?
Did you hypnotize someone yesterday?
No, honestly, no. But,
okay, real quick, everyone, raise your hand if you hypnotized someone today. Okay, raise your hand if you hypnotized someone yesterday. Now, cool. What about the day before? Raise your hand. So you notice how all different people raise their hands for all different days? 10 people is great in theory, but in practice, it's very difficult. Hypnotize one person per day. That's very easy to achieve. And consistency is really the most important thing. It's not about how many people. It's about how consistently you do it. Okay, I'm in a position where I have like sessions on my laptop, and it's hard for me to actually go out and hypnotize people. If you're not there yet, go out, make it a point to just talk to one person. Not even hypnotize them. But when you talk to them, you want to understand who they are and what their pain is. And once you understand their pain, you're not going to be able to help yourself. You're going to start healing them. You're here because you're healers. That's just going to happen. All you have to do is talk to one person and understand their pain. Cool?
How would you get to that? My bad.
Thanks.
How would you get to that?
To understanding their pain?
Yeah.
Ready for the easiest? I think you're where I was when I first started. The hardest part for me was like, what am I going to say to start? That was the biggest thing for me. And I found a very easy solution. And I shared this last Q&A call actually, but write this down if you weren't there, if you didn't write it down last time. Tap them on the shoulder. Hey, we haven't met yet. That's part one. Hey, we haven't met yet. I'm Tyler the Hypnotist. What's your name? Okay, now you see how powerful these 3 sentences are, because the third one, any tension that arose from the start of this stranger conversation is instantly pushed back to them. And they're going to give a subconscious response. When you say, what is your name? What do people say?
Your name.
You're already starting to hypnotize them. You don't even realize it.
Oh,
when you say, hey, we haven't met yet, what does that imply?
That we're supposed to meet.
Mm-hmm. And when you say, my name is Tyler the hypnotist, or my name is Thomas, I'm a hypnotist, what does that do for them?
It gives them like a clue, I guess.
They know who you
Subconsciously,
are,
but
and now they're fascinated by hypnosis. Doesn't matter who you meet, they're going to be fascinated. Some people may be scared because they have misinformation about it, but either way, no matter what their belief on hypnosis is currently, they will be fascinated. And that's how now, oh, my name is this. You say you're a hypnotist, now they're going to start the conversation and you just respond. So all you have to do is walk up to people and say that exactly and just see where the conversation takes you.
I see. Okay. What if you're not that good at hypnotizing and then
Doesn't
they ask?
matter.
Okay.
They don't know, listen,
That's
they don't
the
know what the
thing.
fuck hypnosis is. You, to them, are a master at hypnosis because you know more than they could have known their entire life about this subject. Even if you know one, let's say you know 1% of what I know, and you go up to any random person on the street, you are an expert in that circle. Okay, so all you need to do is own that, and what you do know, just do. It'll come out. It'll just happen.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, and one further thing, so yes, everyone should be hypnotizing one person a day. They should make that a goal that they achieve. But you also want to, while hypnotizing people, Karen has a question. I'll get to that in a second. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. While you're hypnotizing people, try out new things that you haven't done before. So if you hypnotize one person today, and maybe it's just a start, you stick their feet to the ground and have them forget their name. Cool. Tomorrow, try and have their hands stuck to their head. The next day, try and have someone's tongue start falling out of their mouth the more words they speak, and have a compulsive need to speak more words, right? Just try a ton of things. Any suggestion you give. And then the next step, I'll do one more level to this, is to start testing shit out that you didn't even think was possible and that you have never heard me talk about before. I was hypnotizing someone during like the Chinese New Year's, and they had a dragon on college campus at the time. And I was like, hey, you see that dragon? You realize how it's not real? Watch this, now it's real. It's terrorizing. I wouldn't usually use terrorizing in hypnosis anymore, but it's like terrorizing the whole campus. And they started like running around telling people like, there's a fucking dragon. Can you not see that? So just try new things. That's it. That's the best advice I can give. But yes, Karen and Alan after Karen.
Yeah, I was thinking about many people think it was hard to go to strangers and hypnotize them. But I was thinking about them. What about all the homeless people on the street? Can we help them by hypnotizing them? We could make a very good thing if that was possible, and maybe it is for
yes it is.
Maybe some of them it's only their mindset. I don't know, but it would maybe be easier for many to go to a homeless person.
Do you have homeless people or homeless shelters around you, Karen?
No, but there's people sitting outside the store and begging for money.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Yeah. As long as you can engage in a conversation, because I know like here, there's some homeless people who, and I guess I am just judging them. I've only seen them in brief experiences, but who are just out of their mind. Like you would not be able to have a conversation with them. 95% of the homeless people I see are regular people, and you can engage in a conversation. And if you can engage in a conversation, you can have it become a hypnotic conversation and change their life. If you do this, or if anyone listening is interested in doing this, get someone to record it. Put this on YouTube. This is content that people like need to see. Seriously.
Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about that. But if we did it, all of us, then maybe we could do something very good in the world.
Homeless people would no longer be homeless. The biggest issue in being homeless is that they have identified with being homeless. Same thing where if it's not possible for me, you'll never achieve it. If you're homeless, how can you ever get off the streets? That's the biggest issue. We could easily, that's the biggest step too. We can easily change that with hypnosis.
Yeah, I think we should do that. And then we will get over this by not being confident to talk with people on the street. Then we can start with the homeless.
I just got an idea. Okay.
Other people will get interested.
Ready for this, Karen?
You're
going to make it out to Hypnotist Secrets Live. And there are a lot of homeless people in Phoenix. And one day, I said, we're going to go out every day at lunch and hypnotize people. One day, we're going to hypnotize homeless people. And okay, so this is a little sidetrack.
That would be a very, very good thing to do.
Yes, one of the speakers, Caleb Maddox, he's currently 18. I think I talked about him a little bit. Made his first million at 16, first 100K at 14, published his first book at 12. He has been
I'm following him.
His dad, Matt Maddox, was a pastor for 25 years. And he's passionate about two things. He is passionate about fatherless children, and he is passionate about the homeless. And actually, he lived here for a bit, and when he lived here,
twice a week, he would have a homeless shelter. He wanted to like
What happened to your sound?
not a homeless shelter. My sound. Let's go. That's good.
Sorry, there's static. It's really bad.
It's terrible.
Maybe the connection.
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, everyone, can you mute your mic real quick? Because if I talk through just my computer, I'll hear all of you guys. It'll be a bad loop. But yeah, he had a homeless church, rather. So twice a week, he would use this local coffee shop. They let him have the space for free for an hour and a half. And he would gather like 40, 50, 60, 70 homeless people in here and have a church ceremony for them. And it was super fucking cool. So I'm going to get him involved somehow too. Because
Yeah.
yeah, look up, honestly, I'm going to put this in the chat real quick. I would look up Matt Maddox. I learned so much from him about hypnosis, even though he never knew about hypnosis until he met me. But I learned about the power of hypnotic speaking in the sense where he was a pastor for 25 years and he would get like on a stage and it was church, but he would have people standing up and clapping and everyone was like their hands in the air because he knew how to speak. And I learned how to speak from him. So I'm going to try and get him out to this event, actually. It shouldn't be too difficult if we're hypnotizing the homeless. But yeah, awesome. Karen, I know Alan had a question, so Alan, you can ask your question.
I would love to ask quick about the same.
No, real quick. I know it's on the same topic.
If it's very poor people, you cannot ask money, it will work for them?
Yes.
I'll go back to my point. Yeah, okay, yes, Karen answered it. Yes. Alan, what was your question? I'm sorry, I said Alan, he unmuted his mic and he was ready to go.
It's okay. You got a lot of procedures there. Yeah, I just wanted to add on what you were saying before about just walking up to total strangers and talk. If you walk up to a total stranger, you have so much more confidence than they do because they're not doing this. Like you're talking about being an expert, everybody, you have 1% more than they know. I mean, you were already an expert. So having that confidence, just doing it, they're going to be blown away and kind of like that starts the hypnosis thing as well. Like, oh my God, somebody just walked up and started talking to me.
It's a pattern interrupt in and of itself, right off the bat.
Totally.
Yeah. Awesome input, Alan. Dinora, did that question need to be addressed further? Or did Karen's answer help?
I was asking about the poor people, they don't pay. Does it work, the hypnosis to them?
Yes. Tell them it will. And honestly, it almost feels morally wrong, but it might actually help to have them pay you something. Because to someone who has like, I have $2,000 in my bank account and I have this opportunity of a lifetime for $3,000, like I can probably get that $1,000 and make it happen. If you're homeless and you have like $15 on you, like max, and you pay $10 for this, it's significant in and of itself. However, if you were to just do it for free, yes, it would still work. You just tell them it would work. I do agree that when they pay, it's more powerful, but I think people in situations like that, it doesn't matter. You set the standard, so you tell them this is a powerful change and this is going to happen, and it will.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to go get homeless people as clients. That'll be completely. Exactly. All right. We have 7 minutes left. We're going to wrap up. So let's take any last questions. Bradley, I haven't heard from you at all, man. I hope you're learning a lot, but do you have any questions you can ask? I'm out of water again. Wow. Oh, you're muted, Ralph. I can unmute you. You're good. Hello.
Oh, the audio is kind of a bit bad at the moment. Sorry. Barely hear you sometimes. I was kind of trying to think like, have you ever really, really badly bombed during a hypnosis session? How did you recover from that?
Yeah, of course. Everyone does. And everyone will if you haven't. But most of my total bombs, I did readjust. First prominent experience was I hypnotized someone to think I was invisible and still hear my voice. And I've done this maybe 6 times before, but for some reason, this dude hearing me and not seeing me freaked him the fuck out. And he started like running away from my voice. And at the time I thought I had, like I told him when I snapped my fingers and say sleep, he would fall asleep. And he was running, I was like, sleep, sleep, and he wasn't falling asleep. So I had to like chase this guy down and not speak so I could sneak up on him because he still couldn't see me. And I like placed my hand on his head and I just guided his head down, sleep, and he went down. So I literally chased that guy to readjust, and I just did not have me be invisible again. So that was like the first big shock. That was when I was new to hypnosis. Second prominent one would be I was hypnotizing my friend Ishan, who was really closed off emotionally And one night out of nowhere, he would never do this. He walked in and he's like, dude, could you help me? He's the kind of person who will never ask for help. And he asked me to help him with some childhood trauma. This was about a year into hypnosis. So I considered myself an expert, but I still didn't know like 5% of what I know now. And this was the first ab reaction I experienced. We talk about these a lot. They are a good thing, but I didn't know it at the time. And I had him, because I didn't know what the experience was, and I don't do this now, but I had him go into the experience and share it with me, give me the details of it. And I had him shift to like another memory. He gave me two memories actually, one on one hand. One was this traumatic experience, one was this beautiful, happiest moment of his life. And we went to this one first. Then I wanted to shift him from this one to this one, but he said, I can't, I'm stuck. He said he was stuck in like in a thought loop. And I was like, oh, fuck, like, this is not good. But so I honestly, I don't even know what I said for like 30 seconds. I was probably like obviously confused and stuck. But then all I did was I said the same suggestion over and over again. Like I just broke his thought loop by inserting my suggestion over and over again, which is it's easy to open your eyes, open them now. Notice that the more you try, the easier it is, open them now. Then he opened his eyes and came back. Now, for people who find themselves in similar situations, because that may seem scary and it was at the time, any ab reaction is a very good sign because their mind needs to experience it. Because that memory, he got trapped in it because he's blocked it off for so long. Anytime someone experiences an ab reaction, they need to experience it. Once you realize that, you tell them that. You tell them the reason you are experiencing this now is because you needed to experience it. That's the first step, okay? Because this experience is showing you something. Or rather, I would say the experience is telling you something. Listen to its whispers. What is it saying? And then they're going to answer. And they're going to listen to what it's telling them rather than being in the experience. They're just listening to what it's telling them now, right? And you can sort of take them out. But yeah, any ab reaction, any unintended experience was meant to happen, and it is the most powerful part of the hypnosis. That's all you have to realize, and you'll be good in every situation. Good question.
Yeah, that was really good, actually.
Okay, cool. Sarah, do you have a question? No? Okay. Bill, you've been very silent as well. That's okay. We'll take any last questions. Actually, one last question. We have 3 minutes left, so let's do one last question. Anyone can just unmute the mic and shout it out. Hey, Alex.
It's like church all of a sudden. I got. Where do I find out more information about the thing in Phoenix?
Hypnotist Seekers Live. So that's a good question. It will be at hypnotistseekerslive.com. That link is not currently live. Marvin will inform you guys when it is, and it'll be live sometime this week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. That was a fast question. So I'll take one more question. Yeah.
Jumping quickly. Can someone's brainwave state influence the words you're telling them, and, like directly change how they feel from what you've said to them?
Yes. Very good question. Theta in general is hypnosis. Delta is deep sleep. Alpha is like flow. I'm not really too sure about beta, but theta is hypnosis. So for example, like when you first wake up and when you're right about to go to bed, you're still conscious, but you're also in that subconscious state. You're in theta. You can be hypnotized very easily then. By people responding to your suggestions at the start of hypnosis and in the pre-talk, by forming those new beliefs, that enters them into that state. So all hypnosis is done in theta. So yes, the brainwaves do come into play, but it's always theta. So hopefully that answers it.
So you can't hypnotize someone in delta then?
Well, delta's deep.
They're like fully awake. If they're fully awake, you can't get them to just like.
You 100% can. Their brain will automatically shift. It shifts. The delta waves are for deep sleep. So if you're doing like stress relief, anxiety, someone who's really tense, delta waves will be beautiful because it brings them back to a state of just pure relaxation. Yeah, I'm gonna have to test out different states and I can give you a more formulated answer by playing like binaural beats for different states.
Yes,
Also, what I want to say is for self-hypnosis, listen to theta waves on YouTube. That helps a lot.
Well, thank you. Okay, great.
Okay, we have 1 minute left. 1 minute left.
So, I'm not getting calls for clients to get clients. Like, can you talk about that? Like, why? What should I do, or things like that? Like, I've been posting a lot in Facebook. Huh?
How many calls have you gotten so far?
What?
How many calls have you Like how many applications were filled out? How many Calendly links?
10 calls.
How many posts?
Yeah. I don't count them, but one per day minimum. Like a lot of posts.
Yes.
But in Facebook groups and yeah, what?
Guess a number.
Like 9, 8. I don't know. Like I'm not sure, but
okay.
I'm posting.
So, real quick, let's say you posted 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Even 20. What that is telling you is, okay, if I posted 8 or 9 times and I got 10 calls, what happens when I post another 8 or 9 times?
There's more people to get in the calls.
Now, first what you need to do is post 8 or 9 more times. See if you get 10. Okay. If you get 0 more calls, then we have a problem. Right now, we don't have a problem. It's just sort of impatience. It'll build up. But consistent posting, you've been posting every single day for like 8 or 9 days. Beautiful. Keep going. You'll get the calls.
Do you think I should post more, like more times per day and in more groups?
You can.
Okay.
The best advice I would give you is to test. I don't know what's going to work for you. Like I can give you a post that has worked for me and you can post it exactly. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you, right? But how will you know if it's going to work for you? You got to test. So whatever you work, test it with a bunch of different shit. See what gets more responses, see what works best.
Yeah, I've been learning copywriting so that I can do them better, but yeah. Huh?
Don't learn copywriting. Now, copywriting is important. I also don't want you to learn sales, but sales is important. Study hypnosis and how it can be applied to those things. You'll be much better, much faster.
Okay.
I was never trained in sales, but I close literally everyone I got a call with. Not literally everyone, but I have like a 90% close rate. And I'm really good at sales because I know hypnosis and people. Recently, I started trying out writing. And all I did was I would write things I would say in my hypnosis sessions, and I would have them experience it. Just hypnotize people through your text. That's copywriting.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for you guys for joining us. Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll get you info on Hypnotist Secrets Live this week. Other than that, have a beautiful rest of the week. Dinora has a question. Dinora, what is your question? One last question, then we're going to wrap up real quick.
I had one client, but I thought that he will be my client because he has many struggles in his mind. And I said, I have a time for you for tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Is it okay? Yes, it's okay. And that day he doesn't show up. Hour before he said, oh, I cannot because you send me questions, so I need to fill it. So, okay, I said, please fill question, answer the question, and we will have conversation after 2 days at 4 o'clock.
Well,
and
one thing different right there is when he says, I have these questions to fill out, say, beautiful, bring the paper, we'll fill them out together. Get him in the door. What was the next part?
And he didn't show up next time. Like, I hope that after 2 days he will show up, and he didn't.
Yeah, he won't. If he doesn't show up the first time, he won't show up the second. So for future people, like really the cause of the issue is he should have paid you first, like Marcel said. I 100% agree with that. If he doesn't pay you first, that's fine. Just make sure he gets, like, don't have in-person meetings. I'm gonna have to agree with him on that. I know you asked him this question and we're looking for a different perspective, but if you have cancer and you go to like 10 different doctors and the first 9 tell you have cancer and you're like, no, I don't. You go to a 10th doctor and like your husband bribes him and gives him like $100 to say you don't have cancer. And you're like, oh, I knew it, right? Like we were both telling you the same advice. What I would do is the first like interaction like that is a phone call. The next one is a session. On the phone call, you take the payment or you lock it in and you make sure it is soon. The sooner it is, the more likely they'll be there. The further away, the less likely they'll be there. Okay. So phone call first and make it, the biggest thing would be make it soon. Like even the first time you couldn't come, I wouldn't say in 2 days. I would say, hey, can you do like at 6 p.m. today? Can you do it like the sooner the better? But yes, phone call, close in session, and then they'll be there once they committed to it. But yeah, anyway, guys, I appreciate the last question. I won't be taking it. Have a great week. I'll see you guys very soon.